Hello and welcome to this week's newscast from Power Engineering International. I'm Kelvin Ross. In this week's headlines, the UK is set to miss its 2020 renewables target according to a new report from National Grid. The Swedish government approves Vattenfall's sale of its coal-fired assets in Germany. Philippines has insisted that coal-fired power will remain the backbone of its energy mix. And China is forecast to lead a threefold rise in global solar PV capacity. The UK is likely to miss its 2020 renewable energy targets, according to a report released this week from National Grid. In its Future Energy Scenarios document, National Grid presents 4 potential pathways for the energy landscape in Britain to 2050. It concludes that even if Britain follows the most aggressive clean energy forecast, it will still miss the 2020 target, which is to produce 15% of its energy from renewables. The first of the 4 scenarios is called Gone Green, and envisages a world where policy interventions and innovation are both ambitious and effective in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. However, even under this scenario, National Grid says the UK will only achieve 15% from renewables by 2022, 2 years later than the target. The least optimistic scenario is the fairly self-explanatory titled No Progression, which sees a world where business as usual activities prevail and the focus is on affordability rather than green ambitions. Under this scenario, the UK would hit its 2020 renewable target by 2029. National Grid says the stumbling block for the UK's renewable ambitions is heating. To meet the 15% target, it states that renewable heat needs to increase by around 60 terawatt hours from existing levels. To put that into context, in the past 4 years, there's been an increase of less than 10 terawatt hours, so the pace of change needs to increase significantly. The report also emphasises the role of gas in the need for the UK to decarbonise its electricity sector. It says gas will become an increasingly important source of flexible generation and adds that this flexibility will support the growth of renewable generation. The Swedish government has approved Vattenfall's sale of its coal-fired power plants and mining assets in Germany. The $2 billion sale to Czech group EPH has come in for some criticism from environmental groups, who say that the plant should be decommissioned instead of sold, in line with the goals of last December's Paris Climate Change Treaty. The deal covers coal-fired plants and mines in the East German states of Brandenburg and Saxony. The Philippines has pledged to do more to stimulate renewable energy, but it's insisted that coal-fired power will continue to be the backbone of its growing economy. The country's new Energy Secretary, Alfonso Cusi, said this week that coal is the most dependable and reliable source for baseload power. And he added that as a developing country, the Philippines simply could not afford not to have coal. The country is one of the world's fastest growing economies and aims to double its power generation capacity by 2030 in a bid to eradicate blackouts. The Philippines' focus on coal was emphasised this week with the news that funding has been secured for a 4th unit at a 540 megawatt plant on the island of Mindanao. The $1 billion project will be funded by 70% debt from domestic and foreign banks, plus 30% equity. The first 3 units are currently under construction, with Unit 1 planned to be completed late next year, and the entire plant is expected to come online in 2018. The global installed capacity of solar PV facilities is set to triple in just under 10 years, according to a new report. Research firm Global Data predicts that solar PV will rise from the existing 271 gigawatts to 756 gigawatts by 2025. The report states that although growth will decline compared to the solar boom time of the past 10 years, it will remain considerable over the next decade, most notably in China. Global Data said that China is the largest solar installation market in the world, accounting for 19.7% of PV projects last year, and it expects this figure to reach 31.3% by 2025. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.